Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Thursday, 25th January 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. New twist in TSTT's data breach saga as ex-CEO fights back. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. TSTT's former CEO is threatening legal action against anyone claiming she misled the Public Utilities Minister on the data breach that hit the company in October and led to a leak of 6 gigabytes of customers' data on the dark web. Speaking exclusively with CNC3 News, AGARD insists that initial statements about the breach were not only accurate, but says the minister failed to account to the Parliament on the latest information from TSTT. CNC3's Darcy Polo has that story.
69 days after she was fired from the Telecommunications Services of Trinidad and Tobago, former TSTT CEO Lisa Agard has broken her silence and is vehemently denying misleading Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez about the cyber breach at the company.
This CEO, the former CEO of TSTT, categorically denies that I provided any misleading or false information to the minister or indeed to any stakeholder group throughout this entire process.
In fact, she suggests that the minister did not report to the Parliament from his latest correspondence with TSTT.
Based on my recollection of events, what was actually said by the minister in the Parliament was not what was actually prepared for him. What he quoted from in the Parliament on the 1st of November was from the public statement that TSTT had made on the 30th of October.
On October 30th, the company had confirmed it was the victim of a cyber attack, but said there was no loss or compromise of customer data. Agard maintains that this continues to be true and says she is considering legal action based on statements made at a joint select committee on TSTT's management of the data breach.
If TSTT's CEO is saying that I provided misleading or false information to the Honourable Minister, that is absolutely wrong and a serious and egregious defamation for which I will have to consult my attorneys to advise me on the appropriate legal action to take against TSTT and the acting CEO in particular for defaming my character.
Without naming Agard, TSTT's acting CEO, Kent Weston, told the JSC her office was responsible for approving communication to the public about the company's affairs.
The CEO's office is the one that issues any statement or authorizes any statements to the public or to the board, especially in cases of sensitive nature.
Taxpayers also paid close to $1 million to data protection company CyberEye Limited in the aftermath of the breach, but the company says a ransom was never paid. In part, the JSC was heard in camera where sensitive issues could be discussed. An internal investigation into the breach, ordered by Minister Gonzalez, is expected in 16 weeks. Gonzalez had no comment when contacted by CNC3 News. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
Political analyst Dr. Mukesh Basdeo says crime will take center stage as the next general election nears if it is not kept under control. He was speaking with TV6 on Monday. Nicole M. Romney reports.
Analyst and UV lecturer tells us criminality and its continued escalation in the country remains a major concern for citizens. As such, he believes, it will be the crime levels that will determine how the population responds at the polls.
It will be a key issue in any upcoming political event. I think that if we are looking towards, let's say, a general election, which is nearly about a year and a half away, if there's no handle on the crime situation, it would become, let's say, the political talking point, and it will become the means through which voters will be able to measure the effectiveness of these two political parties.
According to him, the opposition United National Congress has already made progress by way of its recently held crime consultations. He also adds that it gives citizens an opportunity to ventilate the issues impacting them.
And what we have seen is that since the hosting of this crime consultation by the UNC, we have heard about the Prime Minister. We have seen an initiative by the Prime Minister coming out from post-CAB on last Thursday, and the use of $100 million to be disseminated into specific what we call hotspot areas to deal with the issues of crime with regard to infrastructure and resources. So yes, we are seeing that the crime talk did result in an executive decision that came out last Tuesday.
Dr. Basdeo also believes the proposed rate increases may influence how citizens vote based on whether it is introduced slowly or suddenly.
So the question is that how are you going to cushion the effect of these, let's say, proposed rate increases? You have the property tax, you have WASA, you have electricity. That was on the agenda for 2023. If it becomes reality in 2024, it is how the population is going to react to these measures. And we must also understand that these measures in 2024, if not, if it is stretched into coming to the end of the year, going into 2025, which will be an election year, it can have what we call an impact, whether it is viewed as negative in the context of the population.
Nicole M. Romney, TV6 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
A private investigative firm in Trinidad and Tobago is continuing to grow its subsidiary company aimed at providing a directory of your everyday service providers such as plumbers and electricians with an added layer of protection. In this week's TTT Business Insight, Sune Lala tells us about Better Business TT and its drive to ensure citizens don't feel the pinch of crime.
Better Business Trinidad and Tobago is an online directory platform for individual service providers in TNT, such as landscapers, babysitters, and the like. The company said it was a niche market where such a platform for such trades were not available at one's fingertips. But through its parent company, CIA Investigations, CEO of Better Business TT, Inshan Salamat, said they took it one step further to ensure anyone on the platform is credible.
The search results you get there are people who are already extensively investigated, vetted, and accredited. All right, and we have a process for that. So it's verified intelligence gathering that is given to the public so they can make a valid decision who they want come to their home.
He said Better Business receives hundreds of requests weekly to be put on the platform, but said it is not one where persons can be partially approved.
The whole idea and the concept was to make the citizens safer. Not necessarily the whole point of it of having the right service provider, yes, but to make it mechanism, not just advertising a plumber or electrician because they say they're a plumber or electrician, but doing the checks and balances.
This, he said, was done to reduce incidents of crime.
What you get with each profile is a complete facial picture of the individual. So before you pick up the phone to call that individual, you know what they look like, who's coming to your home. You get a video of that individual introducing themselves, like a little biography, which is a humanitarian aspect of it. What they do, how long they do it, and whatnot.
He said most of these providers who register do not make it on the platform.
We had 19 babysitters applied to us in one weekend. When we did our investigations, 13 out of those 19 had serious criminal records that would disqualify them from the process. We were left with 6. And through the further investigations, 3 of them had bad business practices.
This, he said, reduces the likelihood of crime, adding that follow-ups are also done with both the service provider and consumer to verify that both parties are content.
Now, fraud obviously leads to more serious crimes. And then when you touch on the serious crimes, especially against women, where a woman, a single mother or a stay-at-home mom could call someone just by an ad and say, look, I need my AC service. And when that person comes into the home and they realize it's a single woman, there is sexual assault can happen.
Mr. Salamat said although Better Business TTA is still in its infant stage, it has now allowed its parent company CIA investigations to be seen, but assured that a marketing plan is in place to grow its membership. I am Sonolala with your TTT News Business Insight.
Opposition leader in Guyana, Aubrey Norton, has expressed concerns that the ruling PPPC might turn to violent means to retain their position following their potential defeat in the upcoming general and regional elections. Norton cautions the citizens of Guyana to remain alert to these possible developments. Further information is provided in Travis Chase's report from HGP News.
Opposition leader Aubrey Norton is predicting that the APNU-AFC will return to the seat of government whenever the next general and regional elections are called. The opposition leader cautioned that the APNU-AFC would resist any attempt by the ruling PPPC to remain in office once the APNU-AFC is victorious at the polls.
And I want to say this to you. Don't rule out they're going to violence to stay in power. When we finish beating them, we can got to take them out.
Mr. Norton was at the time speaking at a public rally held by the opposition at the Burnham Basketball Court, Middle and Carmichael Street, Georgetown, against the high cost of living.
Every day, they're producing a security company. Every day, a security company. But they must remember, merely having guns does not guarantee you victory. He who could handle the guns is in a better position.
Admitting that the then APNU-AFC government under the presidency of David Granger had been sabotaged by some PPP loyalists who remained in the public sector, a very adamant Norton vowed that any new APNU-AFC government would not be sabotaged.
I'm saying to you, that won't happen again. Won't happen again. When we get political power, we will use that political power to serve our people.
In October of 2023, Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton had put cooperative societies on notice that the PPP government intends to repossess any unused lands from cooperative societies. Hamilton had warned that co-ops either have to resolve their issues or be dissolved. The opposition leader addressed this critical issue.
The cooperatives have given us a lot of land, and any time the PPP attempts to take it, we should fight them. And mind you, you could fight people without a seal. We have to get some new forms of struggle that we can't discuss here. They must just feel it.
The opposition contends that the rise in cost of living adds to the daily hardships faced by a large cross-section of Guyanese, and the government has turned a blind eye. The cost of living rally also highlighted the meager increases in old age pension and the public assistance for these vulnerable groups in society. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.